Her new TV Titan war is underway tonight. On one side of the ring, Rosie O'Donnell, and on the other, our own Fox News colleague, Bill Riley. A short time ago, Bill went on the record. Hey, Bill.
Hey there, Greta.
All right, Bill, is it true that you have asked ABC or called for ABC and The View to fire Rosie O'Donnell?
False.
False. Okay, what's the truth?
Well, the truth is I didn't do that. The truth is that we've been analyzing Ms. O'Donnell's behavior. We find it reprehensible. We think we've crossed a line into the hate arena, and ABC's got a problem here. They got to deal with a problem. But you know what the print press is these days and the blogs, they're going to say whatever they want, but it's not my job to tell ABC who to hire or fire, and I did not do that.
What's your problem with Rosie?
The problem is that once you get into an area where you are spreading propaganda, okay, which is where she is with the 9/11 conspiracy and the British government set up its own people to be kidnapped. Once you get into that absurd area, okay, the company you work for then has a responsibility to say, listen, it's her opinion, we have freedom of speech, but here's another opinion to balance it out that may be sane. See, you can't allow someone like that to go on and make anti-American remarks, which they are. She's accusing her own government of murder, of putting people in harm's way, and then have nothing else to balance it. And that's where ABC is running into. Plus, she's crossed the line from provocative with Donald Trump into the hate arena. She's a hater. And there hasn't been one successful media personality on television in the history of this country who was a hater. They're usually marginalized very quickly. Some talk radio people do it, not many. Americans walk away from hatred. Look at the Air America bankruptcy. That's what that was all about.
But if you have this verbal battle with Rosie, it's sort of like with Keith Olbermann, I mean, they love to bait you, Bill, because when they bait you, that increases their ratings. When they can get Bill O'Reilly to hammer them or to get mad at them, their numbers go up.
Well, look, I'm not interested in anybody's numbers. I'm interested in protecting Americans from hateful comments and protecting our forces overseas. When someone does what O'Donnell is doing, this is used by our enemies all over the world because her transmission goes all over.
You think she's an impact? You think it really has? I mean, you think when Rosie O'Donnell says something, it has some impact?
Absolutely. If Charlie Sheen puts his name on that 9/11 conspiracy documentary, that will be used by every American hater in the world to tell uninformed people, you see, Al-Qaeda didn't attack on 9/11. The Americans attacked themselves. The Jews did it. Okay, that kind of stuff. So Sheen and O'Donnell and these people are being used by America's enemies, particularly overseas, to put our people in even greater danger. And back home, you can imagine if you lost someone on 9/11 and you see a person like Rosie O'Donnell pop up on morning television on ABC saying that, oh, the government killed your son or daughter. That's who did it. You can imagine if you had somebody serving in the theaters of Iraq and Afghanistan to see this woman say, yeah, the U.S. government and Britain are setting up those soldiers to be killed and kidnapped because they want to expand the war. And there's nothing to counter it. It's ridiculous, and it's offensive, and it's hateful, and it's my job to keep an eye on the powerful people in this country, and I do.
I guess, you know, I find it hard to believe, and maybe I'm wrong, but that people along that Afghan-Pakistani border, for instance, are sitting around watching The View, watching for, you know, tips on how people look, or, you know, what books to read, or whatever, or even what Rosie O'Donnell has to say about any sort of, you know, world events. I'm just surprised that it would go beyond our borders.
Well, you don't know the internet world, then, Greta. Everybody in the internet knows who I am. Everybody in the world. They don't watch The Factor. They don't get The Factor. But because of YouTube and because of websites, political websites, this stuff gets honed in even in the provinces that you talked about in northwestern Pakistan. And they take this stuff off, they put it on DVDs, it uses propaganda, and it's hateful, and it's wrong. And Rosie O'Donnell is now crossed into the anti-American territory. She hates this government, the Bush administration, and she's using that hatred. She's venting her venom for whatever reason. I'm not a psychiatrist. And she's damaging the country in doing so. Once that happens in a major corporate atmosphere, I got to go in and say, enough. You got to deal with it. The woman's wrong, and she is wrong.
What do you think Barbara Walters or ABC should do? What do you want them to do?
I feel sorry for Barbara Walters. She's a good woman, an honest woman. I don't think she can control this Rosie O'Donnell. In fact, I know she cannot control her. ABC has to figure out what to do with her. I'm not going to tell them what to do, all right? But surely you cannot allow someone to come on the air every day and vent hateful, dishonest propaganda. You just can't allow that. Now, whether they put on someone on the program that can say that's not true, here's the truth, without being, you know, mocked and ridiculed by O'Donnell and Behar, I don't know. But I know at this point we're into the world of irresponsibility, Greta, you know, and that's where we are, and I'm telling you where it is. It's a no-spin deal. I have nothing personal against this O'Donnell. She was on my program. We had an intelligent discussion about gay adoption. She got a lot of cred for doing that. But she has gone off the deep end, and ABC News is a big problem. ABC, not ABC News. ABC. ABC News has nothing to do with this. ABC News is perhaps the most honest of the three networks in their reportage. But I think everybody over at ABC and the Disney people are embarrassed. They got to figure this out.
Does she have an open invitation to The Factor, and would you appear on The View when she's there?
No, I will never go on The View as long as she's there, because I'm not going to go up against a hater like her. She can come in here, but she's obviously not going to do that. We invited her on many times, because to her, it's all about whatever is driving this vitriol, and it's in a dark place in her. And so rational discussion has left the building. Okay? It's not in the building anymore. This is about her and her turbulence. And I'm not a shrink, but this is far beyond anything that we've seen in the entertainment industry on American television.
All right, Bill, as always, thank you, and we'll continue to see, you know, where this, how this unfolds. Thank you, Bill.